From the printing press to the fall of the Berlin Wall, plenty of events changed the course of history. Let's explore some of the events that made the world we live in what it is today. The invention of the printing press. The printing press was a significant invention. The printing press was invented by Johann Gutenberg in the mid-15th century. Before the printing press, there was no real way of mass communication or spreading ideas, because each book or paper would have to be written by hand, drastically reducing how many can be made in a period. In the early 1400s leading up to the invention, scribes would spend months or years copying texts into books and papers by hand. This sparked mass communication and knowledge before the press books were rare and expensive, and mostly the rich and powerful had books. The printing press allowed things like newspapers and letters to be handed out easily by using the printing press to mass produce them. The printing press would use stamp-like letters, and the user would line them up on the press to say what they wanted, and then they would put their material down, and then press down on it, stamping the item. Without the printing press, we probably wouldn't even have libraries today. The next event in history I'm going to cover is the Industrial Revolution, which was from 1760 until 1840. The Industrial Revolution brought advancements in manufacturing and transportation that made creating goods efficient. During this time, people migrated to bigger cities with factories and gave up their homestead life by working long hours. This was mostly because of the assembly line, mass-producing items, and even vehicles, which made cities like Detroit top-rated cities and grew insanely fast because of these factories. Brands like Ford and GM mass-produced cars that made them more affordable for the average citizen. These factories did come with downsides, like pollution that caused cities to be filled with fog or pollution, and also rivers with toxic chemicals in them that came from the factories. After this died down though, cities like Detroit found ruin, and a lot of the city was abandoned because the factories closed down, so people left. Next, we have the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was constructed by the German Democratic Republic, GDR, in 1961 to prevent East Germans from fleeing to West Berlin, which was under the control of the Western Allies. The wall was a physical representation of the Iron Curtain, a symbol of the divide between the Communist Eastern Bloc and the capitalist Western Bloc during the Cold War. Its construction was a response to the significant brain drain and loss of skilled labor from East Germany to the West. The Berlin Wall changed the course of history by solidifying the division of Europe and symbolizing the ideological and political differences between the East and the West. Families were separated, and many East Germans risked their lives trying to escape to freedom. The wall became a powerful symbol of the oppression and restrictions imposed by communist regimes. The fall of the Berlin Wall on November 9, 1989, was a pivotal moment in history. It was a result of the widespread pro-democracy movements in Eastern Europe, as well as the policies of the Soviet Union under Mikhail Gorbachev, who had introduced reforms such as glasnost and perestroika. The fall of the wall symbolized the end of the Cold War and the reunification of Germany, marking a shift towards greater freedom and democracy in the region. If you liked the video, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. You may also like this video about history's torture methods, or even this short about the new YouTube update.